Hey, movie chapter here. Today, we are going to talk about an amazing movie called Limitless. It's a story about a man who finds a special pill that changes his life completely. Spoiler alert. So, let's begin. The film begins with a man named Eddie Mora. He is standing on the balcony of a huge, expensive apartment. He is high above the city. But there is a big problem. Some dangerous men are behind his door, trying to break in. They are shouting at him to come out. Suddenly, he hears a gunshot. He looks down and sees his neighbor has been killed. The men at the door give him a final warning. Eddie looks scared, but also different. He seems too calm. How did he get here? The story then flashes back. Earlier, Eddie was a very different man. He was a writer who had promised a publisher to write a book. But he had a huge problem. He had writer's block. He couldn't write a single word. His apartment was messy, and he looked unhappy. His girlfriend, Lindsay, came to see him. She was sad. She gave him back the key to his apartment. She said, "I love you, Eddie, but I can't do this anymore." She had gotten a promotion at work, but Eddie's life was going nowhere. She left him. Eddie was heartbroken. Feeling lost, Eddie walked around New York City. By chance, he met his ex-wife's brother, a man named Vernon. Vernon looked like he was doing well. He bought Eddie a drink. They talked about old times. Vernon asked about Eddie's book. Eddie admitted he had writer's block. Vernon said he might be able to help. He pulled out a small, clear pill. He called it NZT. He said, "This is something new. It's FDA approved. It lets you access 100% of your brain." He said it would help Eddie focus and finish his book. But he warned Eddie, "This isn't a toy. It costs $800 per pill." Vernon got a phone call and had to leave quickly. He gave Eddie his business card and one pill. On his way home, Eddie was so frustrated that he finally took the pill. Soon after, he bumped into his landlord's wife. She started yelling at him for being late with the rent. But suddenly, Eddie started to feel different. His mind became clear. Super clear. He could notice everything. He saw she was holding a law book. He started talking to her about law in amazing detail. He knew everything about it. The woman was shocked and impressed. He helped her with her law paper right there on the street. Then, they went to his apartment and had sex. Afterward, Eddie looked at his messy apartment and his blank computer screen. He started cleaning fast, then sat down and began to type. Words poured out of him like water. He wrote through the entire night. The next morning, the effect of the pill wore off. He was tired and normal again. But he saw that his printer had printed over 100 pages of his book. He took it to his editor. She was doubtful, but said she would read it. When he got home, there was a message on his phone. It was his editor. Her voice was excited. She said, "Eddie, this is brilliant. I've read 40 pages and I can't stop. Call me back." Eddie was thrilled. He needed more of those pills. He went to find Vernon. He knocked on Vernon's door. Vernon finally opened it, but he was bruised and beaten up. He looked terrible. He didn't want to let Eddie in, but Eddie pushed his way inside. Vernon saw how clear Eddie's eyes were and knew he had taken the NZT. Vernon told him the truth. The drug was called NZT 48, and it was not FDA approved. It was illegal and from a secret lab. Vernon agreed to give Eddie more pills, but only if Eddie did a favor for him. "Be my errand boy," Vernon said. "Go get my dry cleaning and some food." Eddie had no choice. He needed the pills. Eddie did the chores. But when he returned to Vernon's apartment, the door was open. Inside, the place was destroyed. And Vernon was on the couch, dead. He had been shot. Eddie was terrified. The killers were probably looking for the NZT pills. While waiting for the police, Eddie's mind started working. He realized the killers knew Vernon and were after the pills. He put on gloves and searched the apartment. He finally found a secret stash in the oven, a plastic bag full of NZT pills, a lot of cash, and a small address book. He hid them just before the police arrived. The police questioned him, but he told them only part of the truth. They let him go. Now Eddie had a huge supply of NZT. He started taking one every day. His life completely changed. He got a haircut, bought new clothes, and finished his entire book in just 4 days. He learned to play the piano perfectly in 3 days. He learned several new languages. He became a genius. He started making money by trading stocks online. To get more money to invest, he even borrowed $100,000 from a scary Russian loan shark named Gennady. Gennady said he would skin Eddie alive if he didn't pay him back. But with his NZT brain, Eddie quickly turned that $100,000 into over $2 million. He became famous in the finance world. A banker he met set up a meeting with one of the most powerful men in New York, Carl Van Loon. He also got back together with his girlfriend, Lindsay. She was amazed by the new Eddie, confident, smart, and rich, but also a little afraid of him. However, problems started. Eddie discovered the terrible side effects of NZT. Sometimes he would lose time. He would wake up and not remember what he did for a day or two. He saw a mysterious, scary man in a tan coat following him everywhere. He called the names in Vernon's address book. He found out that other people who took NZT had either died or were in the hospital, very sick. The drug was dangerous. His ex-wife Melissa told him she used to take NZT. It made her feel amazing, but then it damaged her mind. She told Eddie he had to stop taking it, but she warned him he had to stop slowly. But Eddie felt he couldn't stop. He needed the pills to keep his new life. Meanwhile, the lone shark, Gennady, found one of Eddie's pills and took it. He loved the feeling, and now he wanted more. Gennady began chasing Eddie and Lindsay to get all the pills. In a scary scene, he chased Lindsay through the streets. To escape, she had to take one NZT pill herself to think clearly. It worked, and she got away, but she was terrified. She told Eddie she was done with him and his dangerous life. Now Eddie was in deep trouble. He was running out of pills, a killer was after him, and a gangster was threatening him. He also became a suspect in the murder of a woman he didn't remember meeting. He went to his new, super secure apartment. But Gennady and his men broke in. They wanted all of Eddie's pills. Eddie had hidden his last pill, but in the fight, he dropped it down a drain in the floor. He was trapped. He had no way out. He thought about jumping off the balcony. But then he had an idea. He saw a needle on the table. Gennady had turned the pills into a liquid and injected it into his own body. His blood was full of NZT. Eddie fought Gennady, took his blood, and injected it into himself. With his super brain back, he easily defeated Gennady's other men. He was smart and powerful again. He then discovered that the powerful businessman, Carl Van Loon, knew about the NZT pills all along. Van Loon offered Eddie a never-ending supply of pills if Eddie would use his brain to work for him. But Eddie had a surprise. He told Van Loon, "I'm off it. I don't need it anymore." He realized that taking NZT for so long had permanently changed his brain. He was now a genius all by himself. He would not be controlled by anyone. In the end, Eddie became incredibly successful. He published his book, became super rich, and even decided to run for the US Senate. The movie ends with him having dinner with Lindsay, who has forgiven him. He orders their food in perfect Chinese language without even thinking about it. His amazing abilities are now his forever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.